The mysterious New Year's disappearance of Vernon Kent Jones. On January 2, 1993, 24-year-old Vernon Kent Jones vanished under circumstances that have remained unclear and troubling for decades. Known to his friends as Cameron, Vernon had recently graduated from the University of North Carolina and moved to New York City to pursue a career in acting. He had been living on Amsterdam Avenue in Manhattan and was described by his family as driven, friendly, and focused on his ambitions. What began as a celebratory New Year's gathering turned into a mystery that continues to haunt his loved ones and confound investigators. That evening, Vernon attended a party in Manhattan's East Village, specifically on East 7th Street. He was with 3 friends, 2 of whom he had only recently met. The couple, known in most accounts as M and P, were relatively new acquaintances, while the third individual, Z, was said to be a closer friend of Vernon's. At some point during the party, Vernon reportedly became unwell. Around 12:30, M and Z went across the street to a nearby grocery shop to buy paper towels, allegedly to clean up after Vernon became unwell. According to them, they were only gone for about 5 minutes. When they returned, Vernon was no longer in the apartment. P, who had remained behind, told police that she had gone into the bedroom and heard the front door slam, assuming Vernon had stepped outside for air. However, when the others returned and realized Vernon was missing, there was no immediate concern. They continued their night, reportedly believing Vernon had simply left for home, but Vernon never made it back to his apartment, and he was never seen or heard from again. Vernon's family, especially his younger brother Michael, has been tireless in the search for answers. When Vernon failed to return home or show up to commitments, they immediately knew something was wrong. His family traveled to New York City and found all of Vernon's important belongings, including his wallet, identification, and return bus ticket, left behind at his apartment. These were not the belongings someone planning to leave for good would typically abandon. While searching the East Village, they also came across graffiti tags that read "Vern" spray-painted on nearby walls. While mysterious and possibly relevant, no one close to Vernon ever referred to him by that nickname, and the origin of the graffiti was never identified. There is an important discrepancy in reports surrounding Vernon's last known sighting. While some accounts say he was last seen around 12:30 on January 2nd, others list his final confirmed sighting as occurring around 6 in the evening the same day. It is unclear whether this later sighting was substantiated or mistakenly reported, but all versions of the timeline agree that Vernon was seen feeling unwell. The 2 friends left briefly, and upon their return, he was gone. One of the most unsettling elements of this case is the lack of clarity surrounding what actually happened during that brief window of time. Vernon's family has always believed that the 3 individuals at the party may know more than they have admitted. 2 of them left New York City shortly after Vernon's disappearance and have never publicly spoken in depth about that night. The 3rd individual has remained in the city and has responded to questions in the past, but never provided information that brought investigators any closer to the truth. Vernon had noticeable physical characteristics due to previous surgeries, including metal rods in both femurs, surgical scars, and past fractures in his ankle and arm. He was also not known to vanish without contact. His disappearance defied everything his family and friends knew about his character. The police classified him as missing, but with little physical evidence, the case quickly turned cold. Years later, Michael Jones enlisted the help of private investigator Robert Rahn and his firm, Management Resources Limited of New York. Working pro bono, Rahn re-examined the case and found inconsistencies in the original accounts. For example, while 2 of the friends said they had gone out to look for Vernon when they noticed he was missing, a 3rd person contradicted that claim and said no one had searched outside. It also remained suspicious that Vernon would leave without his wallet, phone, or ID, especially in the middle of the night in an unfamiliar part of the city. With no usable DNA sample on file, the family feared the worst until Michael remembered that he had saved Vernon's baby teeth from his childhood. These were given to the investigators in hopes of creating a DNA profile for future comparison in case any unidentified remains were ever found. Despite media coverage, a segment on 48 Hours, and years of relentless effort, Vernon Kent Jones has never been found. His mother has made heartfelt public pleas, particularly urging the people who were with Vernon that night to come forward and provide more information. Their silence remains one of the most frustrating barriers to resolving this mystery. As of today, Vernon's disappearance remains an open and unsolved case. Those who knew and loved him continue to seek closure, even as time moves further from that fateful New Year's night in 1993. The hope remains that someone, somewhere, remembers something small that could finally shed light on what happened to Vernon Kent Jones. The mysterious disappearance of Claudia Kershaw. In the early summer of 2000, a troubling mystery unfolded on the sunlit shores of Negril, Jamaica. 29-year-old Claudia Kershaw, an assistant editor and travel writer from New York, vanished without a trace while staying at a luxury resort. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance continue to leave her family and investigators perplexed, with questions still lingering over 2 decades later. Claudia, known among her peers for her professionalism and passion for travel, had been invited to participate in a promotional trip for travel writers organized by Sandals Resorts International. The event was originally scheduled to take place in Havana, Cuba, where the company was preparing to unveil a new resort. On May 24, 2000, Claudia departed for the trip but encountered an unexpected roadblock. Upon arrival in Montego Bay for a connecting flight, she was informed that she would not be permitted to continue on to Cuba. With no immediate return flight available, the resort redirected her and another writer, Tanya Grossinger, to the beach's Negril Resort, along Jamaica's scenic 7-mile beach. During her stay, Claudia appeared to embrace the unexpected detour. On the evening of May 26th, she met with Tanya for dinner and recounted a date she had been on the previous night with Anthony Grant, a bartender at the resort. Claudia mentioned that the two had gone to a nightclub, shared a smoke, and gone for a late-night swim. She also clarified that nothing romantic had transpired and that she declined a second invitation from Anthony. The next morning, May 27th, Claudia had breakfast with Tanya, who was leaving earlier than planned after securing a return flight. That meeting would be the last time anyone confirmed seeing Claudia alive. Claudia did not appear for her scheduled flight home on June 1st, nor did she return to her office in Manhattan on June 2nd. When her parents were unable to reach her, concern quickly turned into fear. They contacted the resort and learned that Claudia was missing. A lifeguard had seen her walking along the beach at around 1 in the afternoon on May 27th, but she had not been seen since. Oddly, when resort staff entered Claudia's room over the following days, they noticed the bed was unused and her belongings untouched. When the room safe was eventually opened, her personal items, including her passport, airline ticket, cell phone, credit cards, and cash, were still there. The only things missing appeared to be a t-shirt, her swimsuit, and a portable radio. Initial theories suggested she might have gone swimming and encountered trouble, but the calm waters and lack of strong currents made this theory difficult to support. Several unusual developments added complexity to the investigation. The resort's logbook, which recorded all incoming and outgoing vehicles, mysteriously vanished for the entire month of May. Security camera footage near Claudia's room had been erased, and before police could treat her room as a potential crime scene, it was cleaned and made available for other guests. These oversights raised significant concerns about possible mishandling or even obstruction of the investigation. Public relations efforts by the resort also drew scrutiny. Leo Lambert, a spokesperson for Sandals Resorts, held a press conference in which he portrayed Claudia as a free-spirited traveler who may have chosen to start a new life with a local man. However, her family and friends vehemently denied this characterization. The Kershaws, deeply concerned with how the investigation was being conducted, requested assistance from the FBI. They traveled to Jamaica with a tracking dog, hoping to find answers. The tracking dog followed Claudia's scent from the beach to the home of Anthony Grant. The scent was also detected in the trunk and back seat of his vehicle, as well as on a pair of boots and gloves belonging to him. A strand of hair resembling Claudia's was found in the car. When initially questioned, Grant denied ever meeting Claudia. After further questioning and a failed polygraph, he admitted to taking her out, but insisted he had nothing to do with her disappearance. Despite the inconsistencies, the Jamaica Constabulary Force eventually stated they did not consider him a suspect. Further suspicions were raised when it was discovered that Leo Lambert, the same public relations official who spoke publicly about Claudia's disappearance, had taken time off from work at the exact same time as Anthony Grant and had applied for a passport in a hurry. While Lambert claimed his intention was to protect the resort's image, it led to speculation about whether more information was being kept from the public. In 2001, the Kershaw family received an anonymous letter claiming Claudia had attended a party where something may have been slipped into her drink. Though unverified, the note reinforced the family's belief that others knew more than they were admitting. In 2002, the Kershaw's filed a lawsuit against Sandals Resorts, alleging that the company's employees destroyed or withheld crucial evidence. The case was quietly settled in 2007 under confidential terms. Today, Claudia's disappearance remains unresolved. Her family continues to believe that, if Anthony Grant was not directly involved, he at least knows more than he has shared. The possibility exists that she was introduced to someone else who may have played a role in what happened. Despite the time that has passed, her case is still considered open, and her loved ones continue to hope for answers that will finally bring clarity to this deeply mysterious case. The mysterious disappearance of painting prodigy David Guerrero Gavvara. In the spring of 1987, a deeply unsettling mystery unfolded in the city of Malaga, southern Spain, when 13-year-old David Guerrero Gavvara disappeared without a trace. Known across Spain as the Painter Boy, David was not an ordinary child. He was gifted with extraordinary artistic talent, and his work had already been displayed in exhibitions by the time he was just a young teenager. His sudden vanishing left a lasting impact on his family, the community, and those who followed his case across the country. On April 6, 1987, David returned home from school with one of his brothers. He wasn't feeling well, and only ate a light snack, a yogurt, as his family later recalled. Despite the headache, David went on to change clothes and prepare for what was supposed to be a significant day. He was scheduled to attend an interview at La Maison Gallery, the same gallery where one of his paintings had recently been exhibited to critical acclaim. After the interview, he planned to attend his usual painting class, a routine that reflected both his dedication and passion for his art. The gallery was only a short bus ride from David's home. The stop was a mere 100 meters away. That afternoon, David left home carrying only what he needed for his class: a small bag, his bus pass, and his school identification. He never arrived at the gallery, and he never returned home. When he failed to show up later that night, his father began checking places he might have gone. His first stop was the art class, where the caretaker informed him that David had not shown up that day. Thinking David might have returned home after all, he rushed back, only to be told by his wife that their son still hadn't returned. At midnight, David's family reported him missing to the Guardia Civil. Authorities responded quickly. Search teams with tracking dogs combed the city. Border controls were alerted. Hospitals were checked. All signs, however, led nowhere. When local bus drivers were interviewed, they all reported that David had not boarded any of their buses that afternoon, despite the stop being extremely close to his house. This raised immediate suspicions that something may have happened between his doorstep and the bus stop, an alarmingly short stretch of road. Early theories included the possibility of David running away, but those who knew him well quickly dismissed it. Teachers, neighbors, and relatives all described him as a quiet and disciplined child, deeply focused on his art, content with his life, and without any personal issues that would suggest he wanted to disappear. He had taken nothing with him beyond what he needed for his short outing, which further weakened the runaway theory. One unusual detail has continued to puzzle those familiar with the case. On the very day David vanished, Queen Sofia of Spain was visiting Malaga. Her tour included a stop near David's neighborhood, and the area was swarming with heightened security, including undercover and uniformed officers. Given this security presence, many find it difficult to believe that someone could have taken David in broad daylight in a monitored area without anyone witnessing a struggle. The case went cold for over a year until a glimmer of hope emerged in August 1988. A Spanish couple visiting Lisbon, Portugal, reported seeing a boy resembling David drawing on the pavement. The boy, they claimed, was clearly not Portuguese and seemed to match David's description. However, police in both Spain and Portugal were unable to confirm the sighting. It faded as a promising lead, but left the family with a sense that David could still be alive. The most intriguing twist in the case came a few years later, when authorities turned their attention to a 70-year-old Swiss man who had passed away in 1987, the same year David vanished. This man, a wealthy traveller, was found to have stayed at multiple hotels in Malaga in the weeks leading up to the disappearance. Strangely, a painting found in the man's home closely resembled David. Even more bizarre, David had previously painted a portrait that included a man who bore a striking resemblance to the Swiss traveller. When the Spanish police travelled to Switzerland in 1990, they confirmed the man's passing, but also spoke with hotel staff, who claimed to have seen him speaking with David. The possibility of a connection was never confirmed, and the man's death brought that lead to an abrupt end. Since then, the trail has gone cold. Investigators believe that whatever happened occurred in that brief walk from David's front door to the bus stop. With so many officers in the area due to the Queen's visit, it seems unlikely there was any kind of public confrontation. Some speculate that David may have willingly entered a vehicle with someone he knew or trusted, though no solid evidence supports this theory. Despite ongoing appeals from the family and renewed interest in the case over the years, no conclusive answers have been found. David's father passed away in 2015, and with Spain's inheritance laws requiring closure for estate matters, the family had David declared legally deceased in 2016. However, his memory lives on, and many continue to hope that answers may still surface. The disappearance of David Guerrero Gavvara remains one of Spain's most haunting mysteries. A prodigy, full of promise and talent, vanished in broad daylight in a city full of people, leaving behind only questions, a legacy of beautiful paintings, and a family still searching for peace. The Mystery Bullet. On a serene day in February 2022, in the quiet Swiss town of Frauenfeld, an incident unfolded that left both medical professionals and local authorities puzzled. A 38-year-old man, accompanied by his 2 children and a family acquaintance, decided to enjoy the afternoon by taking a relaxing walk through the area. What began as a peaceful outing would soon turn into one of the most baffling medical mysteries in recent memory. As the group strolled along, the man suddenly experienced a sharp and unexpected pain in his lower body. Initially, he believed it to be something minor, perhaps a pulled muscle or a cramp. However, the discomfort grew concerning enough that he decided to seek medical attention. With no visible cause for the pain and no dramatic incident to explain it, the group made their way to the nearest emergency room for a professional opinion. Once at the hospital, doctors conducted routine examinations to determine what was causing the pain. What they discovered was astonishing. The man had sustained a gunshot wound. More specifically, a bullet had lodged itself in his lower body. Surgeons removed the projectile, and the man was soon discharged. Yet the bigger questions remained. How did the bullet enter his body, and where had it come from? Neither the man nor his companions had heard a gunshot. No one in the area had seen anything suspicious or noticed a firearm. There was no panic, no sound of a weapon discharging, and most perplexing of all, no obvious entry wound on the man's body. This absence of a visible wound further confounded medical professionals and investigators alike. Under ordinary circumstances, a bullet wound would leave behind some indication of impact, a tear in clothing, bleeding, bruising, or broken skin. In this case, there was simply no such trace. The police quickly opened an investigation, trying to determine how such a strange and potentially dangerous event could occur in such a calm setting. Their working theory, though tentative, suggested that the man might have been struck by a stray bullet, perhaps from a recreational shooting range or an isolated area where someone was handling a firearm. If this were true, the incident would be classified as an extremely rare accident. But even this explanation raised troubling questions. If a bullet had travelled from a far-off location, there should have been some sound associated with the discharge. Moreover, if the shot came from a populated area, someone would likely have heard or seen something. Yet no reports were made, and no weapons were recovered. The bullet had no known origin, and the investigators were left with no leads. The absence of an entry wound made matters even stranger. Some speculated that the bullet may have entered through an existing small opening or ricocheted in such an unusual way that it left no clear damage. To this day, the mysterious bullet incident in Frauenfeld remains unsolved. It has joined the list of unexplained events where logic, science, and investigation have all failed to deliver a clear answer. the mysterious Angola 727 case. Throughout the chronicles of aviation history, few mysteries have baffled investigators and aviation enthusiasts as deeply as the unexplained disappearance of a Boeing 727 aircraft from Angola in 2003. This event, often referred to simply as the Angola 727 disappearance, remains one of the most compelling unsolved aviation cases of the 21st century. The mystery is not only rooted in the physical vanishing of a fully fueled jetliner, but also in the shadowy circumstances surrounding its ownership, purpose, and final destination. The aircraft in question was a Boeing 727, originally built in 1975 for American Airlines. For over 2 decades, it served on some of the airline's busiest routes, accumulating nearly 70,000 hours of flight time. In 2000, it was converted from a passenger jet into a cargo aircraft. Eventually, the plane was transferred to a company based in Miami, which claimed it was in the process of selling or leasing the jet to various African entities. By the time of its disappearance, the aircraft had been sitting idle for over a year at 4 de Fevereiro Airport in Luanda, Angola, awaiting resolution of disputes regarding ownership and unpaid airport fees. Those financial and administrative issues proved significant. The grounded aircraft had reportedly accumulated around $4 million in parking and service fees. At the same time, there was confusion over who legally owned it. Different organizations and individuals were allegedly involved, creating a complex web of claims that made accountability difficult to establish. Moreover, the aircraft reportedly lacked a working high-frequency radio and did not have all the documentation confirming its conversion from passenger to cargo use. These missing elements likely played a role in the aircraft being grounded, and perhaps in what came next. On the evening of May 25, 2003, the plane inexplicably came to life. Ben Charles Padilla, an American flight engineer and certified private pilot, was reportedly on board, along with John Michael Mutantu, a mechanic believed to be from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Both men were associated with the maintenance of the plane, but neither was certified to fly a Boeing 727, which typically requires a 3-person crew. Some eyewitnesses said they saw just 1 person board the plane, while others claimed there were 2. To this day, there is no confirmed list of who, if anyone else, was on board. At around sunset, the jet began to taxi without radio contact or clearance. Its navigation lights were off, and its transponder, the device that communicates a plane's identity and location, was deactivated. The aircraft made its way onto the runway and took off without incident, heading out over the Atlantic Ocean. That would be the last confirmed sighting. No wreckage was ever found, no distress signals were ever received, and no confirmed sightings of the aircraft have been reported since. This event sparked numerous theories and investigations. One theory suggested the plane had been stolen for use in illegal cargo operations. Given its size and capacity, it could have been repurposed for smuggling goods or other clandestine activities. Another theory proposed the disappearance was a sophisticated insurance fraud scheme. The idea being that the plane, no longer economically viable due to its age and debts, was taken and disposed of to allow an insurance payout. Yet, another possibility was that the aircraft was stolen to be sold or repurposed in the black market, despite the challenges associated with operating such a large aircraft discreetly. Further complicating matters was speculation that the plane had been rented out to transport fuel to remote diamond mining operations in Africa. This claim, while unconfirmed, added to the murkiness surrounding its final days. With 14,000 gallons of fuel on board, the jet had a range of about 1,500 miles, enough to reach multiple potential destinations within Africa or the southern Atlantic. One of the more sobering theories is that the aircraft crashed into the ocean shortly after takeoff. The Atlantic, particularly along that region of Africa, contains vast, sparsely monitored areas. Without an active transponder or flight plan, locating a downed aircraft would be exceptionally difficult. If it did crash, it is likely that the wreckage would remain undiscovered to this day, resting at the bottom of the ocean in silence. Despite efforts from both the United States and international authorities, including the FBI and the CIA, the disappearance remains unresolved. The US government took the matter seriously, fearing the plane could be repurposed for use in a terrorist act. Investigators combed through leads across Africa and beyond, yet nothing conclusive emerged. Even now, years later, the Angola 727 case continues to invite speculation. Some have suggested the disappearance was facilitated by inside help, possibly involving corrupt officials or airport personnel. The notion that a jetliner could simply vanish without a trace raises questions not just about what happened that night, but about broader vulnerabilities in aviation security and international cooperation. Over time, interest in the case has not faded. Aviation enthusiasts, journalists, and even casual observers continue to revisit the story, hoping that new evidence or a chance discovery might finally solve the mystery. But the longer the aircraft remains missing, the more it seems destined to remain one of aviation's greatest enigmas. In the absence of closure, the Angola Boeing 727 continues to exist in a liminal space between history and legend. It has become a symbol of how even in a world saturated with satellites, radar, and surveillance, mysteries can still unfold and persist. Whether it was taken with intent, lost to mechanical failure, or part of a far-reaching scheme, the truth remains hidden, leaving only questions in its wake. Until the day that evidence emerges, if it ever does, the Angola 727 stands as a modern aviation ghost story, a tale of disappearance without explanation, echoing through the corridors of unsolved history. The mysterious disappearance of April Fab. April Fab was a bright 13-year-old girl who vanished without a trace in 1969 in one of the United Kingdom's most enduring and heartbreaking missing persons cases. Born on April 22, 1955, she was known as a quiet and loving child with a passion for animals, particularly her family's terrier, Trudy. She enjoyed hobbies like needlework and stamp collecting, and her bedroom walls were adorned with posters of her favourite band, Amen Corner. April lived with her family in the small Norfolk village of Metton. On April 8, 1969, she set off on what should have been a short bicycle ride to her sister's home in Roughton, a nearby village. She had planned to deliver a packet of cigarettes as a birthday gift for her brother-in-law. She carried only a few personal belongings, some coins, the cigarettes, and a handkerchief, all tucked inside the saddlebag of her white and blue bicycle. Before heading to her sister's, April briefly stopped at a nearby field known as the Donkey Field, where she spoke with two friends. She stayed only about 10 minutes before telling them she had to leave to continue on to Roughton. At approximately 2 in the afternoon, she was seen by a farm worker travelling along Roughton Road, the last confirmed sighting of her. Just 15 minutes later, 2 Ordnance Survey workers discovered her bicycle lying in a nearby field. It was undamaged and abandoned with no signs of a struggle or a crash. Investigators would later note that there were no tracks leading to or from the bike, suggesting it may have been deliberately thrown there. By 3 in the afternoon, a passing motorist took the bicycle to the local police house. That evening, April's mother reported her missing after realizing she had never arrived at her sister's home. The following morning, a full-scale search and investigation began. Law enforcement agencies acted quickly and thoroughly. Helicopters from the Royal Air Force were deployed. Dogs, volunteers, and officers combed the countryside for clues. More than 1,900 witness statements were taken, and hundreds of homes were visited during house-to-house inquiries. Yet no trace of April was found. During the search, a handkerchief embroidered with the letter A and stained with blood was recovered, raising initial hope for a lead. It was later claimed by a woman who had used it to treat her son's scraped knees and was deemed unrelated. A nearby couple who had been parked near the area recalled nothing suspicious, though they admitted they may have dozed off. Other minor leads trickled in. A report of a girl matching April's description on a train and another at a London bus stop, but none could be confirmed. A handful of oddities and suspicious activities emerged in the investigation. One report came from 2 separate women in Roughton who claimed to have heard a loud shriek around 11 that night. Neither of the women knew each other, yet both gave similar accounts and reported hearing no vehicles nearby, adding to the mystery. A black Morris vehicle seen driving erratically in the area raised suspicions. It led police to a man with a criminal background, including burglary, who had been uncooperative with law enforcement in the past. While he was in the area on the day April disappeared and admitted to stealing from telephone boxes with an accomplice, his vehicle and background were investigated thoroughly and no link to April could be established. Another tip involved a red and grey minivan that was allegedly spotted near the area at the time, but it was never identified or traced. There were even reports of a van selling carpet nearby, but the individuals inside were located and cleared of suspicion. April's parents were firm in their belief that she would not have left willingly. She had no reason to run away and had even made plans for the following day with a friend to travel to Norwich. Despite their grief, they never gave up hope that answers might one day emerge. At the time, comparisons were made between April's case and that of Jeanette Tate, another girl who disappeared while cycling. Both girls were similar in age and disappeared under similar circumstances, yet no definitive connection was ever proven between the two cases. Years later, efforts continued to uncover the truth. In 1997, thermal imaging was used to search nearby fields. In 2010, a well was excavated after a new tip, but no evidence was found. In 2011, reports surfaced that a man had been seen digging a grave around Easter weekend of 1969, though this lead also failed to uncover anything conclusive. April's case remains officially unsolved, and her disappearance continues to baffle investigators and haunt those who remember her. Her parents have since passed away, but surviving family members have expressed the emotional toll of the ongoing mystery, noting how each renewed discussion brings back the pain of that day. Now, decades later, April Fab would be 68 years old. Her memory endures not just as part of an unsolved case, but as a young girl who was deeply loved and whose quiet disappearance left an unfillable gap. Despite the passage of time, the investigation into what happened that day in April 1969 remains open, with the hope that someday the truth will finally come to light. The Stranger at Loftas Hall. Loftas Hall, a grand country estate located on the windswept Hook Peninsula in County Wexford, Ireland, has long been steeped in mystery and legend. Built on the site of the original Redmond Hall, the property carries a storied history dating back to the 12th century. Over time, the house has not only been a home to noble families, but has also become a focal point for one of Ireland's most chilling supernatural tales, the appearance of a mysterious stranger said to be something far from human. The land on which Loftas Hall stands was first claimed in 1170 by Raymond le Gros, a Norman knight who arrived during the Anglo-Norman invasion of Ireland. He constructed a hall on the site, and generations later, around 1350, the Redmond family replaced the original building with a fortified house known as Redmond Hall. This structure would endure through centuries of conflict, including the Cromwellian conquest, until the Redmonds were eventually evicted in 1650, following the death of Alexander Redmond. The property was then acquired by the Loftas family. English settlers granted extensive lands in the area. The name Loftas Hall came into official use in 1666, when Henry Loftas moved in and undertook significant renovations. It would remain in the family for generations and would later become known not only for its grandeur, but also for the dark legend that came to define it. The most well-known chapter in the story of Loftas Hall took place in 1775. At the time, the mansion was under the care of Charles Tottenham, who had married into the Loftas family. He was staying at the hall with his second wife and his daughter from his first marriage, Anne Tottenham. The tale begins during a violent storm, when a ship seeking refuge came ashore near the hall. A solitary young man from this vessel made his way to the mansion and was offered shelter from the storm. Anne, a young woman known for her refined nature and deep sense of curiosity, quickly formed a connection with the stranger. The two spent time together over the next few days, but it was during a card game that events took a disturbing turn. While playing in the card room with the family, Anne noticed something unusual. Everyone had received 3 cards except her. She had only been dealt 2. As she bent down to retrieve what she believed was her missing card, she glanced beneath the table and was horrified to see that the stranger had a cloven foot. The legend says that upon being discovered, the mysterious guest shot upward through the ceiling in a burst of fire and vanished. The incident left a gaping hole in the ceiling that, according to some, could never be properly repaired. From that moment, Anne's health and spirit declined. She became reclusive and emotionally withdrawn, and it is believed the family, unsure of what to do, confined her to her favourite room, the tapestry room. There, she sat in silence, her knees drawn up to her chest, gazing out the window toward the sea, perhaps hoping for the return of the man she had once welcomed. She refused food and barely spoke again. Anne passed away in that room later that same year. According to law, when it came time to bury her, her body could not be straightened, as if frozen in the seated position she had remained in for so long. The years that followed were filled with strange happenings. The house was said to be plagued by unexplained noises and disturbances. Objects moved on their own, strange lights flickered in empty rooms, and guests reported feelings of unease. Despite several efforts by Protestant clergymen to bless the home and quiet the unrest, the phenomena persisted. Eventually, the family turned to Father Thomas Broders, a Catholic priest who was also a tenant on the Loftas estate. It is said that he successfully performed an exorcism that quieted the activity, but only to an extent. Reports of ghostly sightings, particularly that of a young woman believed to be Anne, continued for generations. Former staff of the estate later recounted seeing her figure walking down the stairs or hearing the sound of phantom horses circling the property. Visitors to the hall, now a public attraction, have also reported cold drafts, unusual shadows, and the distinct feeling of being watched. Today, Loftas Hall remains a place of fascination and intrigue. Its legacy as a stately mansion is rivaled only by its reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Ireland. The story of the mysterious stranger with the cloven foot and the tragic fate of Anne Tottenham continues to captivate those who hear it. Though centuries have passed, the hall's silent corridors and shadowed rooms still echo with whispers of the past, of a visit from something beyond explanation, and a young woman whose heart may have been broken by more than just a stranger. The mysterious sightings of river lizards. In the world of mysterious creatures, few cases have captured both skepticism and fascination, quite like the accounts of the so-called river lizards, mysterious dinosaur-like creatures sighted near rivers across the American Southwest, especially in Colorado. Among the most intriguing reports is one shared in the year 2000 by a researcher named Ron Schaffner, who received a peculiar email from an individual identifying himself only as Derek. Using a generic and untraceable email address, Derek detailed an extraordinary encounter with a strange bipedal creature that he and a friend had witnessed 2 years earlier, in July 1998, near the Fountain River, close to Pueblo, Colorado. According to Derek's account, the two were riding dirt bikes through a dry, open stretch of land when they were stopped in their tracks by the sudden appearance of a small creature, walking upright on 2 legs. It sprinted across their path with an agility that seemed unnatural, and its posture and motion resembled that of a miniature dinosaur. Startled but curious, Derek and his friend rushed back to retrieve a camera, later returning to the site to photograph what they believed were the creature's footprints. The prints, marked by 3 toes and approximately 2 inches in diameter, added an element of physical evidence to the otherwise bizarre sighting. Derek's investigation didn't stop there. As he began sharing the story among acquaintances, he learned that he wasn't alone in his experience. One friend even claimed to have captured a similar creature on film. With some convincing, Derek secured permission to scan and share both the photographs of the tracks and the images of the alleged creature. These were sent to Schaffner, who in turn passed them on to fellow researcher Chad Arment. Known for his detailed work on unexplained sightings in the United States, Arment analyzed the photos closely. Both he and Schaffner agreed that the images, though interesting, lacked clear detail. The silhouette of the creature could easily be mistaken for a model due to its indistinct features. Yet, despite his professional reservations, Chad Arment admitted he found the case compelling enough to contact Derek directly. He expressed the need for further verification, either through clearer photos, additional witness accounts, or physical evidence. Derek responded, referring to the creature as a river lizard and explaining that it had taken him quite some time to obtain the scanned image. Unfortunately, he failed to specify the exact date or location where the photograph was taken, only noting it had been captured somewhere in Colorado. The creature in the photo defied categorization, not resembling any known species documented in biology. This peculiar photograph has since circulated on various websites and forums, igniting debate and attracting speculation. Some commenters dismissed it as a hoax or misidentified object, but no definitive source has ever emerged to disprove its authenticity. Reverse image searches have yielded no results, further fueling mystery. Even Chad Arment pointed out strange anatomical features in the image that don't align with typical wildlife or known animals, keeping the case in the realm of unsolved sightings. Additional reports seem to support the idea that something unusual may be hiding along riverbanks and dry canyons. In Arizona, a couple encountered what they believed to be a river dinosaur. According to witness Ron Suchik, the creature had such a surreal appearance that they initially thought it was a toy, but the sighting left a strong impression on them, and they remained confident that what they saw was not just a discarded novelty. Earlier still, in 1996, a resident of Mesa Verde, Colorado, witnessed something equally strange. She described seeing a creature about 3.5 feet tall, running on 2 legs with incredible speed. What struck her most was the cone-shaped snout protruding from its face and the long tail that trailed behind it. Seeking an expert opinion, she contacted Jeff Thulin from the Reptile Reserve. Interestingly, Thulin admitted he had received similar descriptions from others and was unable to match the witness's account with any known reptile or lizard species. In 2001, yet another sighting occurred in the Yellow Jacket area of Colorado. A mother and daughter witnessed a creature that seemed to blend the characteristics of both bird and reptile. It had a long, serpentine neck and thin legs, but no feathers. Its arms, as they described them, appeared to stem not from the torso, but from high up on the neck, a bizarre detail that added to the creature's otherworldly appearance. They estimated its total length to be around 5 feet, giving it a commanding presence that left them both stunned and intrigued. These recurring sightings across different locations and time periods, each featuring strikingly similar descriptions, suggest that there may be more to the legend of river lizards than mere folklore. While no conclusive evidence has been presented, the frequency and consistency of witness reports make the phenomenon difficult to ignore entirely. Whether these accounts are the result of misidentified wildlife, elaborate hoaxes, or a rare undiscovered species, they have collectively built a body of mystery that continues to puzzle and inspire. The mystery of the river lizards remains unresolved. Despite attempts by researchers to investigate claims and verify photographic evidence, the truth has remained elusive. The recurring nature of sightings, however, suggests that the legend is not easily dismissed. In the vast expanse of space, numerous celestial events and phenomena have puzzled astronomers and space enthusiasts for centuries. Among these mysteries, sightings of unidentified objects have captivated the imagination of millions. These unidentified sightings can sometimes defy explanation and warrant serious consideration. One such perplexing event was the appearance of a large, circular, unidentified object observed in close proximity to the Sun. Oddly enough, this isn't the first time that this has happened. The event unfolded when a researcher into the unknown was looking through NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory live feed. Interestingly, on various occasions, it's captured footage of a bright spherical object moving around the Sun. The object exhibited movement that appeared inconsistent with natural celestial bodies, sparking speculation about its origin. As more data and observations were collected, the mysterious object displayed astonishing characteristics. Its orbit around the Sun appeared to be highly irregular, defying the conventional laws of celestial mechanics. The object seemed to maintain a close proximity to the solar surface, while maintaining a stable trajectory. Additionally, it was impervious to the extreme heat and radiation generated by the Sun, raising intriguing questions about its nature and composition. Numerous scientific theories emerged to explain the enigmatic appearance of the circular unidentified object near the Sun. Some experts hypothesized that it could be a natural phenomenon, such as an enormous coronal mass ejection or an unusually shaped solar prominence. However, these explanations were quickly dismissed by those who saw the image due to the object's sustained and controlled trajectory, features not typically seen in natural solar events. Another theory posited that the unidentified object might be an advanced spacecraft sent from a distant civilization. This speculation was met with skepticism, as the concept of intelligent advanced life remains speculative and lacks concrete evidence. Nevertheless, the tantalizing possibility of advanced visitation could not be entirely discounted, spurring even more interest in the phenomenon. The sighting of the circular unidentified object near the Sun underscored the importance of solar exploration and its potential connection to understanding other celestial mysteries. In subsequent years, other solar observation missions, such as the Solar Dynamics Observatory, also recorded similar anomalies near the Sun. These sightings included objects resembling disks or spheres that seemed to traverse space with remarkable precision, sometimes seemingly in tandem with solar flares or other solar activities. The recurring nature of these sightings intrigued scientists and enthusiasts alike, driving further inquiry into their potential causes and implications. As mentioned, various theories have been put forth to explain these mysterious objects near the Sun. One explanation involves malfunctions or artifacts in the imaging equipment. Solar observation instruments are highly sensitive, and anomalies could arise from internal errors, reflections, or data processing issues. While this might explain some isolated incidents, it does not account for the consistent and coordinated movements exhibited by some unidentified objects. Another theory attributes the sightings to natural phenomena, such as coronal mass ejections or solar prominences. While these are indeed common solar events, they do not account for the precise movements and seemingly controlled trajectories exhibited by some of the observed unidentified objects. The most intriguing and controversial theory surrounding unidentified objects near the Sun is the suggestion that they could be spacecraft of advanced origin. Proponents of this hypothesis argue that advanced civilizations from other star systems may be exploring or utilizing our solar system, using the Sun's gravitational pull as a cosmic highway for interstellar travel. However, this theory encounters significant skepticism from the scientific community, primarily due to the lack of tangible evidence supporting the existence of advanced life or their ability to travel to our solar system. Moreover, the vast distances between stars and the limitations of current propulsion technologies make interstellar travel a daunting endeavor, leading many scientists to consider this possibility as highly improbable. Regardless of their origin, these sightings near the Sun have inadvertently contributed to our understanding of space weather. Solar flares, coronal mass ejections, and other solar activities can significantly impact space weather, affecting satellite communication, power grids, and even Earth's magnetosphere. By closely studying these sightings, scientists have gained valuable insights into solar dynamics and magnetic fields, enabling them to develop more accurate space weather predictions and mitigation strategies. As these sightings near the Sun continue to spark public interest and intrigue, it is crucial to approach the subject with skepticism and critical analysis. While some sightings may defy immediate explanation, attributing them to extraterrestrial visitors or other fantastical explanations without empirical evidence can undermine serious scientific inquiry. The exploration of Mars has long captured the imagination of humanity, fueling speculation about the possibility of life beyond Earth. In the midst of this fascination, an intriguing claim emerged: a purported discovery of a skeleton in a photo taken by the Mars rover. The purported discovery of a dinosaur skeleton on Mars emerged when an amateur researcher scrutinized a photo captured by the Mars rover, highlighting what appeared to be the fossilized remains of a creature resembling a dinosaur. The photo, taken on the Martian surface, depicted a rocky landscape with distinctive formations that some interpreted as the skeletal remains of an ancient creature. The claim quickly gained traction online, capturing the attention of enthusiasts and skeptics alike. One user commented on the post, saying that it looks like a skeleton, adding that if you saw this photograph and weren't told that it was taken on Mars, you wouldn't question that it was anything else. The alleged discovery of a dinosaur skeleton on Mars ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate within the public sphere. While some embraced the possibility of life and the implications it carried for our understanding of the universe, others remained skeptical, calling for more conclusive evidence to substantiate the claim. Many users suggested that the possibility of dinosaurs inhabiting Mars is an intriguing concept that has been explored in both scientific discourse and popular imagination. One theory proposed by scientists is the concept of panspermia, which suggests that life could have been transferred between planets through meteorite impacts. If life originated on one planet and was ejected into space due to a cataclysmic event, it could potentially survive the journey within meteorites and colonize another planet. While speculative, this hypothesis raises the possibility that life, including dinosaur-like organisms, could have been transported to Mars from Earth or vice versa. In the realm of Mars anomaly investigation, a separate user has expressed fascination with this particular discovery, labeling it as one of the most distinct and discernible anomalies they have come across. They added that numerous photographs depicting peculiar occurrences on Mars tend to be obscure and challenging to decipher, but this anomaly stands out vividly, leaving no room for doubt regarding its presence. The individual who analyzed the anomaly further remarked on its clear visibility against the background, highlighting its striking contrast and undeniable uniqueness amidst the Martian landscape. Since the advent of space exploration, numerous robotic missions have been launched to study Mars, including orbiters, landers, and rovers. These missions have captured high-resolution images of the Martian surface, revealing a diverse and geologically complex landscape. Among the rocky terrain and dusty plains, anomalies have been identified, objects that stand out against the natural features of the Martian environment. These anomalies include structures resembling artificial objects, and while many of these features can be attributed to rocks or other phenomena, some anomalies defy easy explanation and raise intriguing questions about their origin. In recent years, Mars rovers such as Curiosity and Perseverance have provided scientists with unprecedented access to the Martian surface, allowing for detailed exploration and analysis of geological features. While these missions primarily focus on studying Mars' geology and climate, they have also captured images of intriguing anomalies that defy easy explanation. Examples include objects resembling mechanical parts, metallic fragments, and even what appear to be fossilized remains. While many of these anomalies can be attributed to natural processes, such as erosion and weathering, others raise questions about the possibility of past or present life on Mars and the potential for ancient civilizations to have once inhabited the planet. On Mars, a mysterious emblem has been spotted that appears to be etched into a stone. Recently, the Mars Opportunity rover captured a picture that displays an object resembling the form of a cross, reminiscent of a Celtic or Irish cross. Many ancient civilizations utilized the Celtic cross and Irish cross designs even before the advent of Christianity. There have been various interpretations surrounding the purpose of the circular ring that encircles the cross. These explanations range from its connection to sun worship and symbolic significance to its aesthetic function of creating a more confined shape for the cross. Many individuals who have examined NASA images extensively contend that they may offer evidence to support the existence of a former civilization. However, some individuals remain unconvinced and argue that it appears to be a naturally occurring phenomenon. Over the years, there have been many reports of anomalous features and structures seen on the surface of Mars. While many of these anomalies can be explained by natural geological processes or human error, others have proven to be more difficult to explain and have fueled speculation about the possibility of ancient civilizations or even extraterrestrial life on the Red Planet. One of the most famous anomalies seen on Mars is the so-called face on Mars, which was first photographed by NASA's Viking 1 probe in 1976. Despite the debunking of many of these formations, there have been many other anomalies observed on the Red Planet that are more difficult to explain. For example, there have been many reports of strange, artificial-looking structures seen on the Martian surface, including pyramids, domes, and other geometric shapes. Some have even suggested that these structures could be evidence of an ancient Martian civilization or even a current civilization that is still living underground. Another anomalous feature seen on Mars is the so-called Mars rat, a small, rodent-like object that was photographed by NASA's Curiosity rover in 2015. While many scientists have argued that the rat is simply a rock that happens to resemble a small animal, others have suggested that it could be evidence of a small, surviving life form on the planet. Other anomalous features seen on Mars include strange lights and flashes, unusual clouds, and mysterious dust devils. While many of these phenomena can be explained by natural processes, others remain unexplained and have fueled speculation about the possibility of advanced life on the Red Planet. Despite the many anomalies seen on Mars, it is important to approach them with a critical eye and consider alternative explanations. While the idea of ancient civilizations or current life on Mars may seem exciting, it is important to remember that there is currently no direct evidence to support these claims, and that many of the anomalies seen on the planet can be explained by natural phenomena. Over the years, there have been many reports of unidentified objects seen in the skies above Mars. While some of these sightings may be explained by natural phenomena or human error, others have proven to be more difficult to explain and have fueled speculation about the possibility of advanced life. One of the most famous sightings on Mars occurred in 1959, when the Soviet Union's Mars 1 probe sent back images of what appeared to be a disc-shaped object hovering over the planet's surface. While some skeptics have argued that the object was simply a camera artifact or a trick of the light, others have suggested that it could have been a genuine unidentified object. Over the past few decades, scientists have made numerous breakthroughs in our understanding of Mars and have discovered a wealth of evidence that suggests the planet may have once been habitable. For example, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has detected large deposits of water ice just below the planet's surface, which could provide a vital resource for future human missions to the planet. Similarly, the Curiosity rover has detected organic molecules in Martian rocks, which could be a sign of past or present microbial life. As we continue to explore Mars and search for signs of life on other planets, it is important to maintain an open mind and approach the evidence with a critical eye. While the possibility of advanced life on Mars may seem tantalizing, it is important to remain cautious and skeptical and to consider alternative explanations for any unusual phenomena we observe. Ultimately, only through careful scientific investigation and collaboration can we hope to uncover the truth about mysterious aircrafts and other mysteries of the universe. In the course of their lives, numerous individuals are bound to stumble upon captivating discoveries, creating more confusion than answers. The mystery of space has captivated our curiosity for decades, unveiling a plethora of riddles waiting to be unraveled. Amidst these wonders stands out the lesser-known tale of the mysterious USB stick, a discovery shrouded in obscurity. The narrative traces back to a local resident in a quaint hamlet situated near Berlin, Germany. The unearthing of this USB stick sparked a chain of events that left many perplexed and intrigued. Delving deeper into the details of this peculiar finding reveals a mysterious digital device that holds the key to a realm of undisclosed information, tantalizing the minds of those who dare to delve into its mysterious contents. The individual recounted the tale of stumbling upon an unusual USB drive lying on the pavement of a parking area. However, this USB drive deviated from the conventional ones found in stores. It piqued his curiosity due to the intricate and strange markings that adorned its surface, prompting him to note that he had never encountered anything quite like it before. Intrigued, he opted to retrieve the USB drive and take it back to his residence, eager to delve into the potential contents it held. Upon connecting it to his laptop and accessing the stored folders, he was astounded by the multitude of vintage photographs showcasing what seemed to depict celestial bodies and other space-related entities. Despite his fascination with the unearthly images, he was at a loss to explain the circumstances surrounding the unexpected discovery of the USB drive, which appeared to safeguard remarkable snapshots from the early space exploration era. This scenario raises the mystery of why such captivating imagery was left behind unattended on the ground. The emergence of numerous photographs from an album labeled 1900 contained in a USB stick led the man to speculate that they dated back to the early 1900s, a time marked by growing interest in space exploration. However, it is widely known that the inception of space exploration occurred in the mid-1950s, a period characterized by the intense space race rivalry between the Soviet Union and the United States. Notably, the significant event of the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957, and the American moon landing on July 20, 1969, solidified this era of space exploration history. This prompts the question, where do these mysterious photographs fit into this timeline? Delving into this intriguing mystery requires exploring the possibility of a covert chapter in space exploration that predates the well-documented achievements of the Soviet Union and the United States, introducing a compelling aspect to the narrative of early space exploration history. In a report by Quisto, the individual who stumbled upon the mysterious USB device expressed bewilderment regarding its ownership and the reason for its abandonment. Observers who have perused the images attest to their authenticity, suggesting the possibility of a clandestine space project undertaken unbeknownst to the general public. Conversely, skeptics have voiced doubts, speculating that the images may have been fabricated as a prank by an individual. The ambiguity surrounding the origins and nature of the USB stick has sparked speculation and debate among those who have examined the mysterious device. The potential existence of a covert space endeavor captured in the images has fueled intrigue and skepticism, with differing perspectives on the veracity and purpose behind the discovery. Some individuals argue that the unidentified flying objects observed near different planets serve as evidence of a hoax, questioning the authenticity of such occurrences. Conversely, there are those who claim that these sightings are backed by top-secret photographs that were never intended for public disclosure. Several years ago, the individual who discovered the USB stick put a post on Reddit saying the following: "I made this account just to share this event and decided to share this on the mystery thread, as I don't know where else to post. My name is Quisto, and I live in a small village near Berlin called Bernau. To make a long story short, I found a USB stick in a parking lot near the so-called Steintor a few hours ago. I didn't think much when I saw it, and so I put it into my pockets. There was nothing more at the parking lot, just a silver Toshiba USB stick. It has a strange symbol carved into it. Later on in the day, I put it into my laptop. At first, I had trouble opening it because the laptop said it was corrupted, and I'm not computer savvy. However, after making it work, I found lots of files and have no idea what they mean. Here comes the interesting part. Among the unnamed files, there were many images and videos of what seems like planets and space-related stuff. They all seem old, from the 1900s. The videos surprised me as some of them show what seems like unidentified objects. I don't know the story behind the USB stick and who possessed it, but I decided to share this with you. Some images seem to show surface close-ups of planets, and some seem to be edited and blacked out. The videos are too freaky to describe. A friend said the stick contains old Voyager satellite recordings and files that are not supposed to be public, as he has never seen something like that. I will look more into the files now and keep you up to date. Once I figure out how to upload, I will show you the images." End quote. In the present day, the influx of these images has not only led to increased confusion, but has also sparked debates regarding their authenticity. Interestingly, some of these images have depicted an object that some individuals have suggested bears a striking resemblance to the mysterious Black Knight satellite. Despite assertions by mainstream scientists discrediting the existence of the Black Knight satellite as a mere fabrication, a faction of researchers who have delved into the subject argue otherwise, claiming that the satellite is indeed real. Furthermore, there are allegations that it might be entangled in a significant cover-up, adding a layer of mystery to its existence. High above the Earth's atmosphere, orbiting silently in the depths of space, lies an object that has puzzled astronomers and space enthusiasts for decades: the Black Knight satellite. First detected by researchers in the early days of space exploration, this mysterious satellite has sparked speculation and intrigue, with some suggesting that it may be of extraterrestrial origin. The origins of the Black Knight satellite date back to the early days of the space age, with reports of its detection by both Soviet and American space agencies in the 1950s. According to accounts from the era, astronomers tracking the movements of artificial satellites in Earth's orbit observed a peculiar object that did not conform to the trajectory of any known spacecraft. Initially dismissed as space debris or a malfunctioning satellite, the anomalous object soon captured the attention of researchers when it displayed unusual characteristics, such as erratic movements and a highly elliptical orbit. Despite attempts to track and study the object, it seemed to defy conventional explanation, leading some to speculate about its extraterrestrial origins. Over the years, reports of alleged sightings and encounters with the Black Knight satellite have surfaced from various sources, including astronauts, amateur astronomers, and military personnel. Witnesses describe observing a dark, shadowy object moving silently across the night sky, its presence shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Despite decades of speculation and investigation, the true nature and origins of the Black Knight satellite remain shrouded in mystery. The enduring mystery of the Black Knight satellite continues to captivate the imagination of researchers and enthusiasts alike, inspiring theories and conjectures about its possible significance and purpose. Some suggest that it may be a relic from an ancient alien civilization, while others speculate that it could be a monitoring device or communication beacon deployed by extraterrestrial visitors. Recently, a user named Jamin made a notable discovery, revealing the presence of yet another mile-long structure on the ocean floor. Interestingly, this revelation comes just a week after the puzzling incident involving the blurring out of the mysterious Malibu underwater formation. In Jamin's observation, he pointed out that within this new discovery, it is evident that multiple sections have been intentionally obscured. Jamin said the following: "I was looking through Google Earth and something caught my attention. A seemingly lengthy trail can be observed deep on the ocean floor, leading to an unusual object situated at its far end. Initially, my assumption leaned towards the possibility of a shipwreck or a large rock being moved along by the powerful ocean currents. Upon closer inspection, I observed a significant circular object situated at the end of the trail. This circular object appeared to stand out as I further focused on it, revealing its distinctive features and size. Upon observing the vicinity, it became apparent to me that certain regions in close proximity to this particular object had been intentionally obscured, prompting me to question the significance of these obscured areas and their potential relation to the object. It leads me to consider the possibility that perhaps an oversight occurred in removing this particular item, and that it is plausible that there could have been additional similar items in the area. The spherical object located at the end of the trail contrasts sharply with the submerged volcanoes or mountains visible within the nearby area. Their visual characteristics are strikingly dissimilar, showcasing distinct features that set them apart from one another. I'm interested to hear what other people have to say about it." End quote. The question on everyone's mind who saw the photograph was whether the circular object was a natural geological formation or the result of human intervention. Its symmetrical shape and the precision of the trail it left behind seemed to suggest the latter, prompting speculation about its possible origins. Some theorized that the object could be the remnants of an ancient civilization, lost to the depths of time and forgotten by history. Others suggested that due to much of the ocean remaining a mystery, it could be remnants of advanced technology left behind by an ancient civilization. Surprisingly, despite the intriguing nature of the circular object, numerous individuals expressed curiosity regarding the reasons behind the intentional blurring of the surrounding areas. Some individuals began to ponder whether these items constitute the foundation of an underwater facility, raising suspicions about the presence of an offshore installation. One of the primary advantages of underwater military bases lies in their strategic concealment. By operating beneath the surface of the ocean, these bases remain hidden from prying eyes and are less vulnerable to detection by adversaries. This clandestine nature enhances operational security and reduces the risk of preemptive strikes, allowing military forces to maintain a tactical advantage while minimizing the likelihood of conflict escalation. Underwater military bases offer unparalleled geographic flexibility, enabling military forces to establish presence and project power in strategically significant regions of the world. Unlike traditional land-based installations, underwater bases can be deployed in remote or inaccessible areas, providing a strategic foothold in maritime choke points, disputed territories, or areas of geopolitical significance. This flexibility allows military planners to adapt to changing threats and emerging security challenges, ensuring a dynamic and responsive defense posture that can be tailored to meet evolving strategic objectives. The unique environment of underwater military bases presents opportunities for the development and deployment of advanced operational capabilities. Submerged platforms can serve as launch points for unmanned underwater vehicles, submarines, and other underwater assets, enabling covert surveillance, reconnaissance, and intelligence-gathering missions. Others have gone down a different route and suggested that these objects are either unidentified submerged objects or bases used by these objects. USOs, like their counterparts in the skies, are characterized by their mysterious appearance and unexplained behavior. These submerged objects have been observed by sailors, submariners, and oceanographers, often appearing as anomalous blips on sonar readings or fleeting glimpses beneath the waves. While some USOs may be attributed to natural phenomena or misidentifications, others defy conventional explanation, exhibiting characteristics that challenge our understanding of underwater dynamics and technological capabilities. Accounts of USOs date back centuries, with sailors and seafarers recounting sightings of strange lights, submerged craft, and anomalous objects beneath the waves. And these encounters, often shrouded in mystery and speculation, have fueled speculation about the existence of advanced underwater civilizations or extraterrestrial visitors. In recent years, advances in technology have provided new opportunities for the study and observation of USOs. Sophisticated sonar systems, underwater drones, and remotely operated vehicles have enabled researchers to explore the ocean's depths with unprecedented precision and detail. Numerous reports of USO sightings have been documented by naval personnel, commercial fishermen, and civilian observers, adding to the body of evidence supporting their existence. These encounters often involve USOs exhibiting remarkable speed, maneuverability, and the ability to traverse great depths with apparent ease. The origins of USOs remain shrouded in speculation, with various theories proposed to explain their existence. Some researchers suggest that USOs may be the product of advanced military technology, such as experimental submarines or underwater drones developed by naval powers. Others speculate that USOs could be evidence of underwater extraterrestrial activity, with unidentified craft exploring Earth's oceans for reasons unknown. While such theories remain speculative, they highlight the need for further investigation and research into the nature of USOs and their potential significance. The study of USOs holds significant implications for our understanding of oceanic environments, technological capabilities, and the potential existence of advanced civilizations beyond our planet. By unraveling the mysteries of USOs, researchers may gain new insights into the nature of underwater dynamics, the limits of human exploration, and the broader question of life's existence in the universe. Future research efforts should focus on developing advanced detection and observation techniques, expanding our knowledge of underwater phenomena, and fostering international collaboration to investigate USOs and other mysterious phenomena in Earth's oceans. The item in question is not a Torah book, but rather a Judaica artifact. Currently, there is a lack of available information regarding this specific item. In the historical and extraordinary city of Erzincan in Turkey, a remarkably old and one-of-a-kind manuscript, crafted entirely from exquisite gold, was unearthed. The discovery did not result from an archaeological expedition. Instead, it was unearthed by a group of diggers. The police were soon called, and they apprehended a group of 4 individuals in the act of attempting to commercialize this valuable artifact. This revelation sheds light on the intricate network of individuals involved in the trade of such valuable objects. The book is relatively lightweight, tipping the scales at 165 grams, and adorned with a total of 14 gold leaves, each meticulously crafted from 24-karat gold. The material comprises Jewish religious scriptures written in the Hebrew language. As of the present moment, individuals who had a glimpse of the book have reported that it was confiscated and removed by authorities in the area. Currently, the whereabouts of the book remain a mystery, with no information available on its location. The uncertainty surrounding the book's disappearance has left many questioning the circumstances leading to its confiscation. One hypothesis suggests that the book potentially contained information regarding the Bible that diverged from commonly known versions, leading to its confiscation for closer examination. This theory posits that discrepancies between the contents of the book and established biblical narratives triggered the scrutiny it underwent. The underlying premise here is that the book may have presented perspectives or details that challenged or contradicted existing narratives. Upon sharing the photos, they were circulated within various groups where individuals attempted to decipher the content of the book, yet a significant number struggled to grasp the underlying message conveyed by the book. Even though the photographs may not offer significant insights, workers in the vicinity have reported that the disappearance of biblical artifacts is a frequent phenomenon in that area. The fascination with biblical artifacts has mesmerized people for generations, creating a bustling market that attracts antiquities aficionados, collectors, and faithful followers eager to possess historical treasures infused with deep spiritual value. However, beyond the apparent allure lies a murky realm of illicit excavation and selling, where invaluable relics are looted from archaeological sites, illicitly transported across borders, and then peddled on the clandestine market to the highest bidder. Intriguingly, the allure of biblical relics has transcended time, keeping the curiosity and interest of humanity alive. This flourishing sector serves as a magnet for those intrigued by the mysteries and historical significance of these artifacts, drawing in a diverse array of individuals from various backgrounds. The illicit selling of biblical relics is fueled by a complex interplay of factors, which encompass the insatiable desire for scarce and precious ancient objects, the enchantment associated with possessing fragments of biblical chronicles, and the promise of substantial financial gains. To certain individuals, obtaining biblical artifacts symbolizes a palpable tie to history, enabling them to establish a closer bond with their beliefs and ancestry. Conversely, for others, it serves as a purely profitable venture, with these historical treasures commanding exorbitant sums in underground markets. The allure of owning a piece of biblical history not only serves as a testament to the past, but also grants a sense of reverence and spirituality, contributing to the multifaceted nature of the illegal trade in biblical artifacts. The ways in which individuals acquire biblical artifacts unlawfully exhibit a broad spectrum of strategies, encompassing activities like raiding archaeological sites discreetly during nighttime, offering bribes to local authorities, engaging in the falsification of documentation to facilitate the illicit transport of artifacts across borders. In regions marred by conflict and ongoing political turbulence, archaeological sites become especially susceptible to pillaging and devastation, with armed factions and criminal syndicates taking advantage of the prevailing disorder to exploit these vulnerable locations for their own financial gain. This unethical exploitation not only undermines the cultural heritage and historical significance of these artifacts, but also perpetuates a cycle of illicit trade and black market dealings that thrive in such precarious environments. In the realm of antiquities, when biblical artifacts are procured, they frequently make their way into the underground black market, where a complex web of intermediaries, dealers, and collectors engage in transactions. The cloak of anonymity and secrecy shrouding the black market poses significant challenges in tracing the provenance of these artifacts, thereby providing a shield for sellers to operate with impunity and outmaneuver law enforcement initiatives aimed at curbing illegal selling activities. Moreover, some artifacts undergo a process of laundering by being funneled through reputable channels such as auction houses and private collections, effectively camouflaging their illicit origins and adding layers of complexity to efforts aimed at uncovering the truth behind their acquisition and circulation. This intricate landscape underscores the multifaceted nature of the illicit trade in biblical artifacts and the persistent challenges faced by authorities in combating this nuanced form of criminal activity. The ramifications of unauthorized excavation and trade of ancient relics from biblical times have wide-reaching and profound impacts, presenting significant dangers to cultural legacy, archaeological conservation, and the authenticity of historical locations. The illicit plundering and despoiling of archaeological sites lead to the disappearance of priceless cultural gems, denying forthcoming generations essential insights into history. Furthermore, unlawful digging frequently entails the obliteration of archaeological context, obliterating crucial information about the societies, traditions, and civilizations that once thrived in these areas. This illicit practice not only jeopardizes the material remnants of the past, but also diminishes our understanding of the rich tapestry of human history and the intricate connections between various ancient civilizations and cultures. Illegitimate excavations not only disrupt the delicate balance of preserving our heritage, but also obliterate the intricate narratives that these archaeological sites hold. The smuggling of biblical relics contributes significantly to a vicious cycle of violence, corruption, and unrest in areas where archaeological sites become targets for plunder. The presence of armed conflicts and political instability worsens this already dire situation, creating opportunities for criminal syndicates and armed factions to take advantage of vulnerable communities, looting their cultural treasures without facing consequences. The proceeds from the illicit selling of biblical artifacts often serve as a source of funding for various illegal activities, such as supporting terrorism, insurgency, and organized criminal operations. This insidious trade not only robs communities of their heritage, but also perpetuates a cycle of harm and exploitation that thrives amidst chaos and conflict. The illegal selling of biblical artifacts not only has tangible repercussions, but also encompasses significant ethical and moral dimensions. By commercializing revered and historical items, those involved in this illicit trade exploit religious convictions and cultural legacy solely for personal profit, showing a blatant disregard for the spiritual and cultural value these artifacts hold for the communities they were originally taken from. Furthermore, the depletion of cultural heritage efforts poses a threat to the preservation and safeguarding of multifaceted human history, leading to the obliteration of the narratives and traditions of marginalized populations from the annals of history. This undermines the fundamental essence of heritage conservation, as well as perpetuates the exploitation and erasure of the historical voices and identities that form the backbone of diverse societal structures. Ancient Bible found in Cyprus. Christianity stands out as one of the prevalent faiths globally, boasting a substantial following and believers. Even to those who may not adhere to its teachings, this religion holds significant and profound implications in the annals of our world's history. Central to the essence of major religions is the presence of a sacred text, typically taking the form of a voluminous book. This revered tome serves as a repository of the fundamental tenets and beliefs of the religion, encompassing laws that are purportedly not of human origin, but are believed to have been revealed by divine entities or God himself. With its rich tapestry of traditions, beliefs, and moral guidelines, Christianity not only shapes the lives of its adherents, but also influences the broader societal and historical landscape, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of humanity. Such holy texts play a pivotal role in elucidating the spiritual and moral foundations of a faith, serving as a guiding light for its believers and a source of contemplation for scholars. In Christianity, the foundational text is the Bible, which, despite having various versions, upholds consistent principles across its books. The narratives within the Bible serve as moral guides or paths, leading to the universal truths that humanity seeks in varying degrees. The significance of this sacred text became evident through a recent development in Nicosia, Cyprus. Authorities announced an intriguing discovery, a manuscript believed to be a remarkably ancient edition of the Bible. This manuscript was written in Syriac, the ancient Syrian language utilized for preserving many vital Christian texts. The unraveling of this text occurred during a police operation targeting suspected sellers of antiquities. While investigations are ongoing, a total of 9 individuals have been apprehended and are currently in custody. The investigation also uncovered an assortment of items, including a prayer statue and a stone carving depicting Jesus. Consequently, the perpetrators faced charges related to smuggling antiquities, engaging in illegal excavations, and possessing hazardous materials. The manuscript featured multiple Bible excerpts meticulously transcribed in gold lettering on vellum, loosely bound together. Among the contents was a depiction of a tree and additional lines inscribed in the Syriac language. Testimonies from the officers who discovered the manuscript in a court session suggested an age exceeding 2,000 years, yet specialists in the field estimated its antiquity to be closer to 1,000 years. This assessment was based on the presence of gold lettering, indicating a more recent origin. J.F. Coakley, a renowned manuscript specialist at the esteemed University of Cambridge Library and also a distinguished Fellow of Wolfson College, expressed a compelling viewpoint, suggesting a discrepancy in the dating of a particular manuscript, differing from the beliefs held by law enforcement officials. Coakley highlighted that the Syriac script present in the manuscript bore resemblance to the styles observed in East Syriac scripts, a development attributed to the period post the 15th century. This observation has led to a lingering uncertainty among experts regarding the authentic origins of the manuscript. The intrinsic value of the manuscript hangs in the balance pending further examination. Its legitimacy would render it an invaluable artifact, while confirmation of it being a forgery would significantly diminish its worth. So, what do you make of these mysterious books? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.